My name's David Haigh, CEO and Chairman of Brand Finance PLC, the world's leading brand valuation firm. We recently published the Brand Finance IT Services 100 2022 report, valuing the top brands in the IT services sector. And I'm very pleased to announce that Tech Mahindra ranked 15th in the ranking with a brand value growth of 45% over the last 2 years to achieve a brand value of $3 billion and an impressive growth in the brand strength score, rising to be the 7th strongest IT services brand in the world. This growth is a result of focused brand building and business efforts. And to celebrate this fantastic achievement, I'm joined by CP Gurnani, the Managing Director and CEO of Tech Mahindra, who has led Tech Mahindra for the last 13 years. So welcome, CP. Very nice to see you again.
Lovely meeting you, David, and thank you for the recognition of Tech Mahindra as a brand which can be trusted, which is built on years of relationship with the customers and our associates. Thank you, David.
You've obviously been a leading light in this industry for 4 decades. I mean, it sounds amazing, I suppose. One has to live up to the fact that one's been around for a long time. And you must have seen a lot of change. How do you think the role of brand has evolved within the IT services sector?
I mean, clearly, brand means communication, brand means building relationships, and brand means building trust. 4 decades is a reasonably long period in which you communicate, in which you interact, and in which you engage with the various stakeholders. 4 decades ago, I mean, I was still happy that I was writing notes to you on an electronic typewriter. And 4 decades ago, I was happy that I would be proofreading proposals and pretty much editing everything myself. From there to the level of automation that has taken place, the role of smartphones, the role of social inclusion and social media, I think the world around us has evolved. And the best part is Tech Mahindra is part of that evolution, or I would say is a company which helps other corporations evolve in a connected world. So much has changed, but it is fun. And the best part is technology is a glue, and technology defines Tech Mahindra.
One of the interesting aspects of branding and how brands engage with their clients, and I think it's changed a lot over the last 40 years, is engagement with sponsorship activities to get close to the clients. And I'd be interested to hear your view about the rationale for the different sponsorships that Tech Mahindra has done. So the Jackson Jaguars, the International Chess Federation, and Formula E. Maybe you could just give us a few words about what the objectives are and how you feel they're working.
If you look at 2 of our biggest sponsorships, one of them is the Formula E car and the Formula E racing. To me, we have always believed that Tech Mahindra brand is associated with doing good. And for doing good, we have purposed Tech Mahindra around sustainability. And our business is being a knowledge and innovation partner to our customers. So if you look at Formula E, it represents innovation. It represents a better way of mobility and transportation. It represents, in a lot of ways, a cumulative knowledge of engineering and legendary competitive sport called Formula E. So we are very proud that we are associated with Formula E for innovation and sustainability. Similarly, the other Olympiad that we have recently supported, and we are the knowledge partner, is the Olympiad of chess. In a lot of ways, again, that represents speed, agility, knowledge, and more importantly, a competitive sport in which the best minds win. And I am glad that we chose these two sports, and we have a long-term commitment and association. To us, it's a brand messaging, again, doing good and building on the ethos of Tech Mahindra's storytelling around the brand, where you engage with Tech Mahindra for solving problems, for building long-term business relationships, and you engage with Tech Mahindra because we are a company with a purpose.
I thought the chess sponsorship was particularly interesting, actually. I did wonder whether that was mainly directed at recruitment and internal audiences, or whether you saw it having a significant role in the relationship with clients as well.
I have always been a firm believer that, Rise for Good first applies to Mahindra's internal employees. If my employees get up in the morning enthusiastic and energetic about serving its customers, serving the community, serving the countries that they work in, I think 99% of my battle is won, because that is the culture of doing good for clients and the society. The second part clearly is, internal communication, or the way you engage with your clients are potentially the same method, but you need a little bit of a tweaking. So re-emphasizing that the first communication and the brand building has to be with your own employees. But if you have to engage with the society and the customers, you need to do a better engagement and a bigger medium.
One other aspect of the sports sponsorships, which I found very interesting when I was looking at the details, was the way that you are using data and virtual reality and data analytics and so on, and as part of the process to get fans engaged with sport in a different way from the way they used to in the past. And in the process, apparently building a whole new industry in terms of content provision and betting and just general engagement. I mean, is that a conscious strategy, or is that just one of the byproducts?
It occurred to me, David, it was more as a technology professional. When I went to watch sports a few years ago, I realized my relationship with the stadium that I went in was practically zero. My relationship with what I consumed and how I consumed, it was literally one-way traffic. And when I looked at the fan experience or an individual experience, I realized that unless you sit in a privileged box, you pretty much do not have any experience that you carry beyond the tournament or beyond the match. And that's where I realized that technology has to be the facilitator. And some of the, and I'm sure as you, watch many of the modern games, you would start realizing that there is a better commercialization by the teams or by the local authorities. Number two, the fan engagement has improved. And number three is there is a post tournament or a post-match a level of engagement. And all this is being facilitated by Tech Mahindra. That's number one. It's on the process part of it. Think of an airline, think of a hotel where you spend much lesser money than you spend on a ticket. Similarly, the second part is the role of data and analytics. Now, data and analytics on one side can be used for commerce, but to me, the more important is how technology is also being used to simulate and to train. So Tech Mahindra is very proud that we are associated with the teams in a better engagement, but more importantly is also in metaverse. Metaverse means augmented reality, better data mining, better structured data analytics, and more important is you are able to replay the game or you're able to simulate it a lot better. So sports is being redefined by technology. We have seen it in a few of these, virtual gaming, virtual tournaments. But more important is, I think we are doing meta with the physical and redefining the whole engagement process between the team, the players, the stadium owners, and the fans.
Well, that's interesting, actually, because that was going to be my next question, really, which was at a more general level, how actively Tech Mahindra is involved in the whole development of metaverse. And, are we really, as a society, moving to a whole new world of metaverse?
Nothing in my experience shows, David, the whole technology is an evolution. Artificial intelligence has evolved over the last 100 years. Data science has evolved over the last 100 years. Similarly, whether it was augmented reality, virtual reality, or metaverse has evolved in the past few years. Similarly, communication, 1G, 2G to 5G, has only improved the level of engagement or the speed of engagement. So I think it is just a natural corollary that a digital twin, a brand engagement, or running an education program or running a gaming, running a retail store, or reducing the returns from a retail online shop. I mean, all of these are business cases waiting to be solved. The good news is now there is technology called metaverse, which is helping either solving these use cases or creating new engagement models.
So moving on to a slightly more general issue, I know that NXT.NOW is a big thing with Tech Mahindra. Can you give us an idea of how that's going to work in practice and how it's going to develop the practice of Tech Mahindra?
Tech Mahindra, as you know, we were a company that was born out of a joint venture, Mahindra Group's joint venture with British Telecom. So at heart, we were a communication software company. Now that communication software company over the last 25 years has evolved into a technology power hub, spread over 90 countries, 158,000 associates. Now, that organization, because we were always very hugely invested in communication, 5G, the latest technology, gives us a medium to create new ventures. And most of the new ventures are around metaverse. And metaverse is not only a game changer, but I think it will benefit all the 1,250 customers, we recently launched an internal new brand called NXT.NOW. NXT.NOW is all about embracing future today. And our CSR initiatives have created an education program where the young and the old are all engaged in education through this metaverse or a meta village. So in infinite possibilities, and I'm happy Next.Now and metaverse have become synonymous with each other.
You spoke at Davos in May about cybersecurity. And, you know, when I think about IT, I'm a little bit nervous about the security issues and the hacking issues and so on. I mean, do you think that technology and technological solutions are going to be able to keep up with the threats from cybersecurity?
You know, again, David, you got remarkable memory. You know, what we discussed in Davos was the tonnage of data, if I were just to put it in a crude language, in 1 year has been more than what it was in the previous 25 years. Effectively, that means is so much of me and so much of you is now in public domain. Now, there are two ways to handle it. Number one is we lock all this data and hope that nobody else will see it. Or number two, realize that this data is going to be accessed by someone. But that's one simple way of putting it. That means there is a new oil called data, and it needs to be protected. The second part is this data in the wrong hands can be misused. So I'll just give you an example. One of my clients in US has been attacked. And this client, luckily the damage is limited, but the whole industry, ransomware is now being demanded in Bitcoin. Number two, there are firms which are engaged in negotiating, and it's a firm of 200 lawyers which only negotiate with the people who get hold of your data, and to return that data back to you, they ask for ransom. So all I'm trying to point out is cyber threat is real, and hence cyber security has to be even more real. And for a company like Tech Mahindra, for us, it's very important that we are able to help our customers in securing their assets. So I can only repeat what I told you in Davos, that the art of protecting is the art of learning to manage the risk. And the learning to manage the risk means use proper tools and use proper experts.
I'd like to just briefly talk about sustainability. And, you know, sustainability goes beyond CSR. First of all, I'd like to ask, you know, what sort of areas of sustainability do you think Tech Mahindra needs to develop further? And secondly, to what extent can technology actually assist all companies in their goals of sustainability?
As I said earlier, David, that when my employees wake up and come to work, they all believe that they have a purpose to create positive impact. And that positive impact starts from their belief that sustainability and climate control is the heart of almost everything that we do. You cannot think of an industry, whether it is technology or whether it is the retail or whether it is education, which does not consume energy. if you are a mining industry, your largest cost is actually energy. Now, the point I'm trying to make is if all of us start working towards sustainability, or to realize that, yes, if there is a expenditure, then there has to be a way of earning back. So my employees and my colleagues actually are at the forefront of what they are doing. My employees actually question me and give me suggestions. They feel empowered that they want to be carbon neutral. They want to create platforms where you can put your inputs and they will come back with a suggestion how to conserve water, how to conserve electricity, how to plant more trees. So I'm very proud of Tech Mahindra making sustainability at the core of our business. We constantly work with our clients and the whole ecosystem to define how we can help them become more sustainable, more carbon neutral, and how we also are able to advise them through various measurement tools on what every action means. I mean, it's a proud moment for us that Tech Mahindra associates are recognized around the world for their and our impact on climate control and also on some of the sustainability initiatives.
I mean, obviously, you're working in a very creative, innovative, and change-laden sector, and companies evolve and brands evolve over time. How do you see Tech Mahindra evolving over the next 10 or 20 years? Are there big areas where you see yourselves leading the way and the company growing exponentially?
We built this company on what I call 3 pillars, which is the people. Number 2 is on processes. Number 3 is on purpose. So when you look at people part, if my people are relevant, if they are skilled, if they are solving problems, I think Tech Mahindra is a brand that the customers would love and continue to do repeat businesses. They will evolve. A bank will become paperless. A bank will, communicate, with their millennial customers or older customers in a very personalized way. But the point is, my people are the differentiator. The second part is process. Ultimately, whether you're running an online and an offline, you are delivering value by becoming better on a process. You may choose automation, or you may choose the best route possible for running a process. I think my company is proud that we believe in process transformation, digital or business transformation, and we will continue to be focused on process transformation. The last point is purpose. Purpose to us is we come here to work because we are proud that we as an organization, we as a brand, add value to you. Add value by being a good partner, by creating a more sustainable world. So I think, again, people, process, and purpose will define Tech Mahindra. It doesn't matter whether it is now or whether it is 10 years from now. Coincidentally, my parent group, the founders, when they set up the company 75 years ago, they actually put out an advertisement in Times of India. And this is when they were the startup. They barely had money to print stationery. And their slogans or advice was all around values, ethics, building a corporation which will be sustainable and a brand that will serve the community. And so I believe I am just a caretaker. 10 years from now, or looking back 75 years, Tech Mahindra will continue to live on the legacy of the founders.
One interesting issue in talking about what's going to happen over the next 5 or 10 years is we do seem to be going into an era of economic difficulty with higher interest rates and inflation rates and slower growth. Do you see a role for Tech Mahindra to help companies get out of their economic problems or to become more resilient to the economic problems?
I mean, I'd love to solve all problems, David, but, all I can say is that there are areas where we have an influence, and the influence I call into 3 buckets. When I engage with the governments or I engage with the Tech Mahindra engages with the clients, we actually do formal workshops in which we say run, change, and grow. Run is, can we run your operations more economically, faster? Change is when we recommend, as I told you, it is about people, process, and purpose. Can we help you change gears to become a little more swifter and agile? Grow is more about investing to create new business opportunities. The sports tech examples that we took, or the retail metaverse examples that we took, it's all about jointly investing and creating new growth opportunities. I don't know whether we have answers to every problem, but in certain pockets where our process experts, business experts, and the technology experts can get together and help you run, change, and grow, I think that's really where our competence is, and we definitely would continue to engage with our clients and the governments around the world.
Before we get on to my last question, could I just briefly ask you about a fairly controversial topic that's been going around the industry, which is moonlighting, where because people have been working from home, there's a suggestion that they've been, doing things on the side as well as their main employment. I think you've taken a position somewhat different from some of the other industry leaders. Can you just explain what your view is about that subject?
I basically have taken a point is Tech Mahindra has always communicated that our values guide us in whatever we do in life. Our values mean being true to the customer, being true to the colleagues, being true to the policies and people around us. And when in doubt, question yourself, what are the values and do we respect the individuals? Now, when I look at respecting the individual, I am very clear that, when when you meet a driver, he tells you that he works for a company, but in an extra hours, because he needs more money, he is driving a car. That time you have never, ever accused him of moonlighting. So I give the same respect to my employees, and I have productivity and efficiency norms. It's like a contract with each other that you would deliver X value to a customer and I pay you Y for that. Now, beyond that, if an individual wants to work harder because he has certain needs, all I'm requesting is, like I respected you by allowing you to go and work, you respect the company by telling us what you are going to do. so that we are clear that you are going to deliver the 8 to 10 hours or 7 to 8 hours or 40 hours a week with us, with the efficiency that we expect out of you. Beyond your 40 hours of work, you want to go and deliver value to someone else. Let's know about it. So these are my open statements. And as I said, they are respecting the values, they are respecting an individual, and they are also being transparent and fair to each other. The same way we built a brand by being transparent and building trust, I'm expecting the same equivocal treatment, inclusive treatment to my employees and from my employees to Tech Mahindra.
That's a very enlightened view, and I'm sure that it's very popular with staff, actually. Do you see this as part of the differentiation of Tech Mahindra as an internal brand, as a people brand? Is this how you're going to be motivating your staff to want to join Tech Mahindra and stay with Tech Mahindra?
I haven't looked at it, from a recruitment part of it. And since I made the statement in the last 72 hours, the good news is that my employees have reached out and welcomed it. So to that extent, I can say is that there are a lot of happy people because they respect that if you are a writer, you're not being limited to writing only one column for one. As long as you're transparent, you are encouraged to go and write for somebody else as long as it is not competition. So people have appreciated a dialogue. As of date, I don't know what impact it will make, but the number of messages that I have received directly only shows that people appreciate a candid conversation.
Yes, I'm not surprised. I'm sure people do enjoy that. And I suppose, thinking about yourself, in a way, you're an expert at moonlighting in the education sector, where you spend a lot of your time helping humanity. So, there's no reason why members of staff shouldn't have other interests as well. So I think it's a very interesting approach to your body of staff. As one very final question, I just wonder, Davos is going to happen in January. What do you think the big topic should be, and will you be there to talk about it?
I'll definitely be there in Davos, and I think the biggest topics of the day are geopolitical stresses, potential energy crisis, and number third, disruptions in supply chain, and number fourth is the inflation and potential food crisis. So energy crisis, food crisis, supply chain, inflation, and geopolitical stresses are all very, very critical and important topics, and clearly would like to be part of the debates, would like to maybe take responsibility to partially solve some of these equations.
Well, I certainly hope to be there myself, and I hope we can carry on the conversation there. This has been a tremendous discussion, really enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again. So thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man. Thank you very much, and congratulations for your results.
Thank you, and look forward to improving from 15 to being on the top of the table.